Hello and welcome. I am Cecilia Lee Howard. I am so excited to be presenting, and I can't be more ready to do this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on me so that we have a little bit of connection here. I am a Reiki master. I have been a chronic pain advocate, and I work with TV and film. I work in cannabis, and I'm a writer. So in a lot of different practices, I have learned to heal myself through various energy work. I've done EFT and Pilates and Reiki and a lot of self-discovery for my own chronic pain journey. So I was experiencing endometriosis symptoms beginning at around age 23. And up until that point, I had been really active in my life. I'd been an athlete, I was a bartender, I was always on my feet, I was working on sets, and it was like a full stop as far as my own regular, normal, physical, day-to-day activity. And this was the very beginning of my own understanding on what was going on with my body, first listening to my body and understanding that my previous lifestyle was no longer going to fit this current body, and that I was able to find what was working for me at the time with what I knew about myself. So knowing that I was an athlete, knowing that I had been a personal trainer, and I was always interested in herbology and herbalism, and I was able to start with that in my own way of just knowledge is power, right? So initially, this was a big wake-up call for me to entertain what was going on in my life that was creating this pain in my body, right? So it started with the traditional route of going to Western doctors and trying birth control, which was hormone therapy. This was something that I did for a few years, which made all of my symptoms a lot more extreme. It was absolutely debilitating. At various points, I was completely bedridden, and I would really only get up to either eat or, something that was like basic human needs. But there was nothing that I was doing on my feet enjoyably. Like, that was a really, really physically difficult time. And in the midst of that, I was also trying to understand what was going on with me, because endometriosis wasn't the first thing to be entertained at that point. I was told that I could have arthritis at the age of 21. I was told that I was developing multiple cysts. So there was all kinds of pieces of information on what was going on with my body, but it wasn't really a full picture that I could ever really, I didn't know what to make out of this information. So once this process was really at its peak and I couldn't find relief through the traditional route, I went to acupuncturists, I went to lots of specialists, I went to Ayurvedic specialists, and there was pieces of progress. And this was a mile further than anything that I had gotten with the Western medicine. So there's a point in everyone's journey, and there's a reason why I'm telling you this story, because there's a point in everyone's journey where you hit a metaphorical fork in the road, and it is making the decision to allow someone else to continue to tell you how you should be feeling or that what you're feeling is wrong. And then there's another where you decide that how you're feeling is going to be what directs you towards what's right for you. And that was a really big decision for me to have to make at that age, but at that point it was exactly what I needed, right? So when I hit this point in my life, I stopped drinking entirely. I was a bartender for a really long time, so that had its own progress point where it was realizing that alcohol was so much of my lifestyle more than just saying I'm not going to drink anymore. And realizing that it was part of my personality to think that my ability to consume alcohol was like a strong suit, right? Where that is not necessarily ever something that I would identify with now, but that is part of how you start to break down the aspects of yourself that you identify with and what you actually evaluate as something you want to keep. So, as we're here now, this may very well be the first stop after you have made a particular turn on this road where you decided that you're going to let how you feel be your compass and guide you in the things that are best for you because of the way that they make you feel, rather than doing things that you have been told that you should do and you never felt good along the process. So, very happy to be part of your path and to assist you as a guide, because so personally, had I been able to reach a community like this when I was dealing with that in the very beginning, I know that my journey would have been entirely different, but I do know that there was the value of me reestablishing what this community means to me, because it is revolving around being healthier and understanding that we are meant to be led by how we feel, and that this energy is not coincidental. This is something that is absolutely within a massive range of power that is more than working with how you think you should be moving. And I'm proud of you, because it can be scary to say, I don't know what I think I'm going to do. And that is the reality of stepping into a conscious transformation, that you say, I'm okay with not planning out all of the steps because I trust myself and I trust my environment and my universe at large, that this will be guided by what's right for me. And if at some point it's no longer feeling right for me, then I understand that that is part of this. So it's a little scary and it's very exciting. And I hope that anything that I am able to say in the next 30 minutes will bring you some kind of solace or connection, understanding that you are not alone in particular things that you may be experiencing, and that is entirely part of what connects us, no matter how close or far we physically may be. That is the conscious aspect of us being connected. Okay, that is the energetic aspect. So I'm getting really excited. And I would like to start by getting into how we are led by our feelings and our intuition. Now, there's going to be a million different ways that you can be led by your intuition. And what is fun and, you know, up in the air is what connects for you, right? So there's so many different ways that different teachers and practitioners will be able to explain various methods to you. Some methods may very well be similar, and then there may be some that are completely different. And it is not bad or good that something works or not. It really is just what's best for you. So if you start to feel that something is like more than uncomfortable, it's not just saying I'm resistant to this because it's new. There's something that feels absolutely like I'm not doing that. That's entirely the point. Listen to that, okay? And that's also as strong of an emotion that we are going to strengthen within our intuition, so that when you are presented with something that you really do want to do, you get just as strong of an all-body reaction to that says, hey, I really want to do this, okay? And getting in tune with that is the gift of a lifetime. So while we are learning how to slow down, okay, number one, be here now. This is simple, it is straightforward, and it is sometimes so difficult. And that is where we learn. So if it is a common practice of reminding yourself what it is in your current environment that you're connecting to, if it's temperature, if it's textures, if it's light, if it's sound, whatever this is, these are things that you start to hone in on, okay? And this is the beginning of starting to ask yourself and your intuition specific questions. Now I'm going to teach you one of my favorite techniques for asking myself and my body yes or no questions, okay? Now, this is just something that you practice and practice and practice, and you can get better at it. And sometimes you don't even have to do this to get a reaction from your body, and that is how you keep strengthening this connection to yourself, by practicing, okay? So at first, it may feel like a really weak connection, and that's okay. The entire point is that you're practicing the methods to get into the right position with all of the preparation that you want to ask these questions, right? And getting into the practice of asking yourself and asking your body and your consciousness, your soul, your spirit, how you truly feel about something. This isn't me asking my brain, me asking prior, old programming. That's not happening. This is slowing down, okay? Taking a breath, okay? Connecting to the soles of your feet. And as you connect to the soles of your feet, you can envision a beautiful golden light coming from the ground. Whatever is against your feet is the source. If there's nothing there, it's just pure energy coming in through your body, okay, up to your head, right? And as you envelop this from your grounding aspect, now I'd like you to take another breath and visualize a beautiful white light coming into your head. And this is going the opposite direction. So head down, shoulders, through your body, down to your feet. Now, as you are completely tapped in, you ask yourself a series of practice questions to establish what is a clear yes and what is a clear no. Okay, so you can start with something super simple. You say, my name is Jonathan. And then I start to feel my body say, no, that's really not right. Here is where you're taking notes, mental notes, physical notes, whatever feels right for you. When your body says, my name is not Jonathan, no, that doesn't make any sense. Where do you feel that? When I get this, I'll give you my cues. It's my throat. I'll feel like it's hard to swallow. Okay, so that's one of the first things that I go for. I'll try to swallow and see if it's difficult. Okay, sometimes I'll get like a like a scratchy throat. Sometimes I'll feel tight in my chest or in my stomach. Okay, and these tensing, these like contracting, uncomfortable feelings, these are the things that you're paying attention to. These are my examples. Okay, now you can get all kinds of things. You can get hot in your face. You can get tingling in your hands. These are signs that you're looking for. Okay, and you can be completely unique. Okay, so just making notes of how this feels in your body. Right? Now we've established my name is not Jonathan. Okay, that's clear. I get it. I accept it. It's true. Now you're going to practice accepting a yes answer, and you're going to make it plain and simple. This is just taking notes of how it feels in your body. Okay, so you say, my name is Cecilia. I know that. My name's Cecilia. And when I say that and I feel that in this same session, where do I feel this in my body? Okay, now the tingling feelings that one person may get for a particular answer may be the same sensations that somebody else gets for a different answer. But the point is that you are taking cues from your body. Okay, so now as you are taking notes, you say, hey, when I feel yes in my body, it feels like tingling in my ears, my hair feels light, my face gets warm, I feel like my whole chest gets nice and light, I feel like I can take really big, deep breaths, my hands are